Hey everyone, welcome to this session. This is Tsou. I'm the Alpha Edge board chair. Because my company is now in the 25 days of quiet period after IPO, so I cannot represent my company, but you know who I am. And my previous company, I was the Philips Lighting Fellow, responsible for the connectivity for the whole company, and it's like a lighting service. Lighting as a service, you can see every 3 meters, we can see a luminaire. Within the luminaire, there are like 4 to 5 sensors. We want to build the edge computing, lighting as a service for the whole world. And before that, I spent many years in FutureWay and Huawei building switches and building routers, and also leading the teams for IPv6 and SDN products development and the deployment. I see many of the faces I know. They're all my customers in my previous life or in the current life. Thank you for attending today's course. So today I'm going to share with you the open source and edge computing, how we unleash new chapters in the digital transformation. Okay, so, and welcome to the Wansami Regional Day here in Shanghai. And it's an honor to be amongst such an incredible group of innovators, thought leaders, and the change makers. Today, we will explore a compelling intersection in the world of technology. Open source and edge computing. These two realms are not only transformative on their own, but when combined, they unleash incredible opportunities for digital transformation across industries. You can see it's very important. Open source and edge computing are both critical catalysts in the modern digital era, driving transparency, innovation, and scalable solutions. The main goal for this presentation is to inspire more contributors. I see like half of them I already see them in the next foundation, to open source edge computing projects and collectively drive process and progress in this industry. I will also be keen to engage in discussions on how we can better integrate open source with edge computing. Here is something I would like to spend some time to talk about, the core principles of open source. So we can say transparency, collaborations, freedom to modify and share, community-driven like we have today, and meritocracy. So open source is a movement. It's dynamic, and it's based on the principle of the transparency, collaborations, and freedom to modify and share the code. We have many projects, and like in Alpha Edge, we have how many projects? 13, 14? Yeah, it keeps coming, so I can't remember exact number. And but for Alpha, we also have a lot of projects. So these projects are often community-driven. Like I see this morning, we have the eKuiper, the talk, and we have the other talks from the different sub-projects. It's all community-driven. And it's operated in a way, it's like a meritocratic basis, where the best ideas win. It's not like anybody or any companies can monoplay. And it's a philosophy that accelerates the innovation and solves the most complex problems through this collaboration. And this is merit of open source. I'm having lunch, I think, with some China Mobile guys. We talk about how the open source evolve for the telco, how the open source evolve of like a cloud native industry for the hyperscalers. We definitely see the waves go up and down, people coming back and forth. But definitely, you probably like this. You wanted to see all of these puzzles, how can I have a better read? Like every year, LF has this Edge report. So this year, we will have another one for 2023, but last year was 2022. It will tells you from a comprehensive way, like what is the Edge, how it's going to the country. And data center in space, I see China is a different market, because in the States, different telcos, if we are the edge node deployer, we can just deploy to with any telcos, right? Because telcos, they can use the BGP to connect to each other. They can just have the AS, their own AS number. But here in China, for example, if I'm the hyperscaler building my edge cloud, I need to put the edge nodes in China Mobile, China Unicom, and China Telecom. Okay, because I can have the BGP to connect with them. I can have something called internal BGP, we call it IGP. Or I'm also an IETF guy, I have more than 10 IETF IFCs. But that was my previous life. And it is the cloud or the edge, or it's both. That's why we see here, like more in the States, we are usually selling the PaaS. Here, we usually sell the ICE, the infrastructure as service. We can have the edge VM, we can have the edge bare metal, or we can have the edge container. We sell to the enterprises. But in the States, it's usually like a lot of enterprise, their IT department, they can build their own ICE. They only need to buy the PaaS. So that's why I see this is a value. We have this meetup. We have this regional day in China, in India, in Spain, and Europe. Is because each region has their something specific deployment scenarios we need to take into account. Like it's a lot of smart agriculture and retail use cases in the States, but not necessarily like, well, China also has, but this has something different. I want to just highlight of this part. And also the new hubs, LFEDGE, we have the news and the project updates if you're going to have just one view of what's going on there. So some assets, we invite the contributors from each companies to write about what will the edge computing unlock, the hidden edge I just mentioned, like the edge cloud. And besides edge cloud, some companies, they even come from the very end. They call it fat edge. Like some companies, we used to have the home edge project, right? So they wanted to build the edge, everything secure and protect your privacy at your home. You even do the inference at your home. Like all the data keeps there. Then you think, oh, how many gigabyte, how many terabyte I need at my home? They probably for 3 to 5 years, it's something different. But on the other hand, hyperscalers wanted to extend their cloud to the edge. So we have already seen these two tech exchanges probably will meet in the middle. And also, we're building a grid at the edge, like we can do something for the power, for the smart grid use cases. And today, we are co-locating event for Kubernetes, KubeCon. So of course, Kubernetes runs almost everywhere in LF-Edge. The Kubernetes unlocks innovation at the edge at a big scale. Okay, you may ask a question, what does the LF-Edge interactive landscape looks like? For the people, my new friend from Chicago sitting on the back, if you can see it, go to the landscape.lfedge.org. You will see, you can zoom it better way. So you can see, even I can't read this, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's all the way from the automation orchestration to the layer of like SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, and all of this, you can see this layer, Do I have a pointer. This layer is more like the Kubernetes cloud native components. You're going to have more dedicated discussion tomorrow when the Kubernetes, the main conference starts. And these are the great companies who contributed to above this to support it. Yeah. Feel free to add more or update it. Here, I would like to list some major open source edge computing projects. Of course, Elf Edge, Elf and networking. Here today is a joint event between these two organizations. And there are many Kubernetes-based projects. Like I know a lot of companies from China donated like OpenYard, like KubeEdge, right? And we have people from Tsou this morning, yeah, like the K3S, and there are many, like, it's basically a distro of Kubernetes, but it runs the cloud and edge synergized way to deliver better use cases. For my talk tomorrow at Kubernetes, at the KubeCon, I will talk about the KubeEdge deployment use case. And OpenStack for edge computing. We changed the name, OIF? No, should I still say OpenStack? Yeah, people know what I'm talking about. So for Elf Edge, it's an umbrella project that aims to establish open, interoperable framework for edge computing. So we already talked, since this morning, we talked about Equino, EdgeX, Foundry, and other for under this, and like the Ji-Yong was talking about this morning, like eKuiper. And LFN, that we have been talking about for a whole day, include like Open Daylight, ONAP, OPNFV, now recently Nephew. By the way, I'm also Nephew's working group release vice chair. There will be face-to-face meetup next month in Mountain View, if you're in the States. So this is more like enabling the open source networking solutions. For the Kubernetes-based project, it offers like the gold standard for container orchestration, also offers edge-specific projects like KubeEdge, etc. I mentioned it. OpenStack, and even you probably think it's too mature, but it has been used a lot in the telcos or a lot of IT department for the enterprises. So it's expanding its scope to manage and control hardware at the edge, allowing for more integrated end-to-end solutions. Here, you can also see how edge computing aligning with the digital transformation. So verticals, and we can list a lot of verticals like healthcare, retail, autonomous driving, or like as the vehicle Ji-Yong was talking about. And this, with a high-level digital transformation, are taking advantage of edge computing and open sources. You can just zoom in. The color means how hot it is, like whether we are ready, etc. Like mining, real estate, agriculture. I say agriculture and hunting. Very interested, and it's just give people a view how this digital transformation is happening everywhere in different verticals. And for Elf Edge, this is an umbrella, and it integrates the open source edge communities, and it supports openness and interoperability across domains, and also maintain the neutrality and establish the critical standards for IoT and edge devices. Recently, I'm thinking that autonomous driving is very interesting because we also think the car is the edge, right? But do you think like how much data you're gonna send? Are you waiting for the large language model to make the decision you turn right or turn left in the crossing, and you have the cars beeping behind you? Then we have something we call the objective storage. You don't have to wait a real-time decision to tell the car where to drive if it's really no drivers on the seat. And in this case, we need to think about something more like security compliant when we design this edge computing, if it has been used in the critical use cases like autonomous driving. Yeah. And I think LF Edge has been incorporated a lot of use cases. But recently we see that a lot of use case is evolving. In the beginning, a lot of IoT, smart aggregation, and the retails. Nowadays, we see more and more autonomous driving. We see more and more the robotics. You can get the data, and you tell the robotics and clean the kitchen and even take care of your kids. But do you trust it? Yeah, that's another issue. And I want to show you how many LF Edge projects is. Rabbi, you can correct me if I miss anyone. So stage 1, we call it a large projects. We have Beito, Kuiper. So Beito, I think, thank you, Baidu is a Chinese company to provide this AIoT solution. And Kuiper, I think Ji-Young has talked about this a lot today. And Project Everring is more like data management led by HP. And FIDO is the FIDO device on board. Yeah, it's, I think most of the semiconductors company are participating in this. Stage 2, going to the next level, it's the growth project. We have the Eve, which is the operating system for the edge computing. And we have Open Horizon, the data governance, data sharing, data control, data management, and the state of the edge. It provides you the white paper or the report every year. And stage 3 is now, beside those projects that are retiring or graduated, this is the highest level, the most influential impact project, has a kernel. It's a bunch of blueprints, which select the specific use case and hardware and software and integrate the software from the upstream components. And EdgeX Foundry, I think Melvin talked about this morning for the IoT and edge computing framework. And Fledge, the good thing is they have a lot of OT. Most of the project here is more like IT-based, but this one is OT-based. Like those enterprise customers, they use Windows, a lot of legacy stuff. The good thing is they also have the ML ops in their project. So here from the user edge, dedicated operating all the way to the service provider edge, I guess people are quite familiar with the underlying here, the infrastructure, the examples, what they are, and how we cover from infrastructure all the way to the application layer. So each project has their own mission, and this is current status of LF Edge. Okay. And I can give an example, because Aquino, it's closer, like a last stop of everything for the deployment. I want to mention some of the contributions from the China community, like the CFN, the Compute Force Network. Thank you, China Mobile. I think Jojo Wing, Huawei, and you guys contribute a lot in the computing force networks. I think this is the basis for the AI. And Baidu, the companies already leading the AI Edge for security autonomous vehicle, which becomes part of LF Edge AI proposal. And also like a 5G Mac cloud gaming, Tencent lead a lot. And ADAT, IoT Gateway, UCPE, and Cassini, as in ARM, proposing leading it. And there are more. If I mention anybody's name, like it could be Edge, Huawei was leading that. Public cloud edge interface, I think either China Mobile, China Unicom was a big part of it together with some American third-party hyperscalers. And you can guess what it is from the name. Yeah. Here is how open source and edge computing overlaps. They do overlap, but sometimes overlapping is a good thing. For rapid collaborative development in edge computing, it could be cost efficient, secure, and faster innovation. And we hope we can have a unified ecosystem to do coexist and complement each other. Here, I would like to highlight some of the LFH industry impact. And we have so many 70K press clip mentions. And, well, it's not Twitter anymore. Is it called X now? The X impression for 215K. Wow, so impressive. And the top headlines everywhere. The road ahead for us is we inviting the contributors. Collaboration is the key. To achieve our goal, we need more contributors. Whenever you are thinking, don't be afraid to just throw your code or your use case and have an email discussion and the mailing list to come to our meetings like today, how you can get involved. Here is the, do I have 20 minutes? Where was my length? I have 1 minute? Okay, can I have borrow one more? Yeah. How we accelerated the community collaboration and innovation. The number goes, like contributors goes 100%. We have 27,500 more global mentions since launch. Have a 3K plus active project contributors, 90% numbers of commits increase. And I just want to highlight some of the premium members, thank you, and many of them Chinese-based. The general members and associated members like from the some organizations and also the universities. How to get involved? It's super easy. Find me, Rennie, Sunny, yeah, and we will help you to get a LFID. It's easy, 20 seconds. Go to the wiki and see the involved guide, attend our meeting, and just discuss face-to-face here. And finally, I want to highlight a little bit about the AI project I keep talking about. So the AI Elastic Framework, usually the hyperscaler, they love it. And like Shifu is just an example of ICE, right? And then with the terminal and edge node, here is how we are going to use the older LLM from different companies, no matter they are public or private, and work with Hugging Face or maybe the other things to have provide the AI edge. It's still a proposal, but I see the great potential here. That's why, and I want to draw your attention. A lot of companies in Asia and China, you contribute a lot working with the American and European companies. I think that it's a good collaboration examples. I will stop by here for any Q&A. I will now open for the floor for the questions. No questions? Then I'm going to thank you, the audience. Thank you for your attention. Let's collaborate and write the next chapter in digital transformation. And let's collectively strive to further the remarkable synergy between open source and edge computing to tackle today's complex technology challenges. Thank you. Oh, you had a question? Okay, you got it. Here you go.
As you mentioned in your slides, there are a lot of open source edge projects. So how do you think about combining them together to one goal or the other? Like in CMCF community, there is also could be edge, open yurt, a lot. So yeah, maybe we should work together. How open source can help to combine all the different projects together? Yeah.
I don't have a complete answer, but our best practice is like we consider Kubernetes-based is a very important principle of design for LFH. Like we integrate the specific versions of KubeEdge, K3s, and mini KubeEdge or OpenShift or whatever to integrate into the blueprints, for example, in Akrino, and sometimes like Ajax Foundry that use them. Yeah, we are the kind of like a downstream user for the Kubernetes components. Go ahead, John.
Hey, thanks. You've put a lot of words on edge computing and platforms. There are a lot of IaaS, PaaS platforms for edge computing, but I'm just wondering what sort of focus you have in terms of enabling edge applications, specifically for LFEdge as a sort of open source group to enable edge application, or putting out blueprints or frameworks for edge applications to be able to fit into those environments. Is there any initiative?
Yeah, John is from
FI.
FI. I know, I'm just playing. FI, and FI is the premium member of Edge. And they made a great contribution on the VNF, even CNF architecture. So I think without the CNF, VNF, without the collaboration or integration, participation from the application vendors, we didn't go far, right? So we hope to work with you guys, application providers, to see what's the killer. Maybe there's no killer applications, but we wanted to make it boring. So that's the new sexy thing, yeah. Okay, any other? Yeah, I think I'm overrun. Sorry, Sunny. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's about it. Thank you, everyone.